Chapter 1: Geographical Diversity of India. Essential Inquiry. Students will understand that India is a major part of the Indian subcontinent and will learn how its unique location influences its geographical identity. Students will identify and describe major geographical features of India, including the Himalayan region, northern plains, peninsular plateau, Thar Desert, coastal plains, and islands. Students will explore how rivers, mountains, forests, deserts, and coastal areas contribute to diversity in soil types, climate, vegetation, and wildlife across the country. Students will analyze how geographical diversity creates varied economic activities such as agriculture, fishing, tourism, mining, and trade in different parts of India. Students will appreciate how India's physical features have shaped the development of its culture, heritage, and civilization over time. Introduction: India's geographical identity. India, a land of immense beauty, variety, and richness, owes much of its identity to its unique geographical features. One of the most defining features of the Indian subcontinent is the Himalayan mountain range in the north. These towering mountains act as a protective shield, guarding the nation from cold winds and forming a climatic boundary. To the west lies the arid region of the Thar Desert, while the eastern and western flanks are bordered by the Bay of Bengal and the Arabian Sea respectively. The southern tip of India opens into the vast Indian Ocean, which completes the country's natural enclosure. India's geography is incredibly diverse and can be broadly divided into 5 major regions for easy understanding. 1. The Great Mountain Zone. 2. The Northern Plains, plains of the Ganga and Indus. 3. The Desert Region Thar. 4. The Southern Peninsular Plateau. 5. The Islands, Andaman and Nicobar Lakshadweep. Bird's eye view of India's physical zones. India's vast landmass has evolved over millions of years and has been shaped by natural processes such as plate tectonics, erosion, sedimentation, and climate. This landmass has been divided into 5 broad physical regions, each of which offers its own set of features, climates, vegetation types, and human activity. Let us take a brief overview of each of these major geographical zones before we explore them in greater detail in the sections that follow. 1. The Great Mountain Zone. 2. The Northern Plains, plains of the Ganga and Indus. 3. The Great Indian Desert, Thar Desert. 4. The Peninsular Plateau. 5. The Islands and Coastal Regions Plains. The Himalayas, crown of the Indian subcontinent. One of the most spectacular and defining features of India's geography is the majestic Himalayan mountain range. Their name, derived from Sanskrit, translates to abode of snow, Hima meaning snow and Alaya meaning abode, and rightly so, for these mountains are perpetually blanketed in snow and ice, standing tall and dignified above the rest of the landscape. Stretching over 2,500 kilometers from Jammu and Kashmir in the west to Arunachal Pradesh in the east, the Himalayas span several countries including India, Nepal, Bhutan, China, Pakistan, and Afghanistan. This massive range acts as a formidable barrier, shaping not just the topography of the region, but also its climate, vegetation, rivers, and cultures. They separate the Indian subcontinent from the rest of Asia, acting like a natural fortress and weather moderator. Origin of mighty rivers, the water tower of Asia. The Himalayas are the source of many important rivers that sustain life across northern India. Snow and glaciers melt during the summer, feeding rivers like the Ganga, Indus, and Brahmaputra, along with their many tributaries. These rivers travel across vast distances, watering crops, generating hydroelectricity, and quenching the thirst of millions. This is why the Himalayas are often called the water tower of Asia. They hold the frozen reserves that nourish entire ecosystems and civilizations. At the heart of this water system lies the Gangotri Glacier, located in Uttarakhand. The Bhagirathi River, a major tributary of the Ganga, originates from a place called Gaumukh, which means cow's mouth, named after the shape of the ice cave from which it emerges. Formation of the Himalayas, a geological marvel. The story of the Himalayas is also a story of ancient earth movements. Millions of years ago, India was not where it is today. It was part of a southern supercontinent called Gondwana, along with Africa and other landmasses. About 50 million years ago, the Indian plate began drifting northwards and eventually collided with the much larger Eurasian plate. This collision caused the land in between to crumple and rise, just like how a rug wrinkles when pushed from one end. This continuous pressure created what we now call the Himalayas, a young and growing mountain range. In fact, even today, the Indian plate is still inching northwards at a rate of about 5 centimeters per year, causing the Himalayas to rise by about 5 millimeters annually. While this seems tiny, over centuries and millennia, it leads to significant geological changes. This process also makes the region prone to earthquakes as the plates are constantly in motion. Classification of the Himalayan ranges. The Himalayan mountain system is not a single row of peaks. It is actually a series of 3 parallel ranges, each with its own characteristics. 1. Himadri, Greater Himalayas. This is the innermost and highest range, featuring towering peaks like Mount Everest, 8,848 meters, and Kanchenjunga, 8,598 meters. These mountains remain snow-covered throughout the year and are often inaccessible. Glaciers and snowfields are common, and human settlements are rare due to harsh conditions. 2. Himachal Lesser Himalayas or Middle Himalayas. Located south of the Himadri, this range has moderate elevations and pleasant climate. It is home to several famous hill stations such as Shimla, Mussoorie, Darjeeling, and Nainital. The region supports diverse flora and fauna and allows for human habitation, farming, and tourism. 3. Shivalik Outer Himalayas. This is the outermost and lowest range, made of young and loose sediments. The hills are generally lower in height and have dense forests and rich biodiversity. This region forms a transition zone between the mountains and the plains. People, wildlife, and life in the Himalayas. Despite the harsh climate, several communities live in the Himalayan regions, adapting their lifestyles to suit the environment. They practice terrace farming, wear warm woolen clothing, and build homes using local materials like stone and wood. A traditional construction style in Himachal Pradesh, known as Kathkuni, uses timber and stones arranged in alternate layers. This design is earthquake resistant and suitable for cold climates. The region is also a treasure trove of biodiversity. Animals like the snow leopard, Himalayan monal, ibex, and Tibetan antelope roam these high altitudes. The Great Himalayan National Park in Himachal Pradesh is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, known for its efforts in wildlife conservation. The Gangetic Plains heartland of Indian civilization. After the towering peaks and icy valleys of the Himalayas and Ladakh, we descend into one of the most fertile and densely populated regions in the world, the Gangetic Plains, also known as the Northern Plains. This expansive stretch of flat land, lying just south of the Himalayas, has played a central role in the growth of Indian civilization since ancient times. It is often described as the cradle of culture, engine of agriculture, and backbone of the Indian economy. Agriculture, the lifeline of the plains. Thanks to the presence of fertile alluvial soil, abundant water supply, and a favorable climate, the Gangetic Plains have become the agricultural heartland of India. Here, farmers grow a wide range of crops including rice and wheat, the staple food of India, sugarcane, pulses, and oilseeds, fruits and vegetables. The multi-cropping system, where more than one crop is grown on the same land during the year, is common here. Regions like Uttar Pradesh and Bihar are known for producing a large share of India's food grains. West Bengal, enriched by the Ganga and its distributaries, is a major producer of rice and jute. Transport and trade, enabled by flat terrain. The Gangetic Plains are not just rich in agriculture, they are also a transport hub. The flat terrain has allowed the development of an elaborate road and rail network, making it easy to move people and goods over long distances. Historically, the rivers themselves served as natural highways used for trade, transport, and travel. The presence of this network has led to the rise of several major cities in the Gangetic Plains, including Delhi, the national capital, located along the Yamuna River; Kolkata, a historic port city on the Hooghly, a branch of the Ganga; Varanasi, one of the oldest living cities on the banks of the Ganga; Lucknow, Patna, Kanpur, and Allahabad, Prayagraj, all cities that have played key roles in India's history and development. Population and urban growth. Due to the favorable living conditions, the Gangetic Plains are one of the most densely populated regions in the world. Cities here have become centers of industry, education, healthcare, and governance. Rapid urbanization has led to the emergence of satellite towns, industrial corridors, and infrastructure projects such as highways, expressways, and metro lines. Culture, religion, and the sacred rivers. The rivers of the Gangetic Plains are not just sources of water, they are revered as goddesses and symbols of purity. For centuries, the Ganga has held a special place in the hearts of Indians. Bathing in its waters is considered sacred, and many people wish to have their ashes immersed in it after death. Festivals like Ganga, Dussehra, Chhat Puja, and Kumbh Mela celebrate the divine nature of rivers and bring millions of pilgrims together. Along the riverbanks, one finds temples, ghats, steps leading to water, ashrams, and spiritual centers. Wildlife and natural reserves. The rich vegetation and river systems of the Gangetic Plains also support diverse wildlife, including animals such as elephants, tigers, deer, langurs, and river dolphins. Rare birds like cranes, storks, and kingfishers. National parks and sanctuaries such as Jim Corbett National Park, Uttarakhand, and Kaziranga National Park, Assam, are located in this region. Conservation efforts like Project Tiger and Project Elephant have been implemented to protect these species from extinction. Forests and wetland ecosystems in the floodplains act as natural water filters and climate stabilizers, absorbing carbon and reducing the impact of floods. The Great Indian Desert, the desert life amidst sand and sun. In contrast to the snowy Himalayas and fertile Gangetic Plains, the Thar Desert or Great Indian Desert is a vast, sun-baked region of sand and extreme temperatures. It lies mainly in Rajasthan and extends into Gujarat, Punjab, and Haryana. This hot arid land shows how people, plants, and animals survive in one of the harshest environments on Earth. A golden sea of sand. On the physical map of India, the Thar appears as a large yellow area, showing its dry, sandy nature. It receives less than 25 centimeters of rainfall per year, so it is classified as a hot desert. Typical climatic features are very hot summers with daytime temperatures often above 50 degrees Celsius. Cold nights due to the dry air and lack of moisture. Frequent dust storms and dry winds. Sparse vegetation, mostly thorny bushes and hardy grasses. The ground is mostly sand and gravel, forming dunes, rocky patches, and dry riverbeds. Some sand dunes rise up to 150 meters. Strong winds keep shifting the sand, so the desert landscape is never completely still. Living in the Thar human adaptation and culture. Despite the heat and water scarcity, people have learned to live successfully in the Thar. Their houses, lifestyle, and customs show clever adaptations. Houses have thick mud walls and thatched roofs, keeping them cool in summer and warm in winter. Clothes are loose, light-colored, and cover most of the body to protect from heat and blowing sand. Food mainly includes millets, pulses, and dairy products, which are easy to grow and store in dry conditions. Water conservation is central to life. Rainwater is carefully stored and reused. The Thar is also known for its colorful culture, folk music, dance, festivals, and crafts. Jaisalmer, the Golden City, stands in the heart of the desert with golden sandstone built inks that blend with the sand. The famous Jaisalmer Fort, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, is a living fort where thousands still reside. Camels, the ship of the desert. In this dry region, camels are the most important animals. They can survive many days without water. Their broad padded feet help them walk on soft sand. They carry heavy loads and are used for transport and even farming. Scarcity and ingenuity managing water. Water is the biggest challenge in the Thar. Over centuries, people have developed smart traditional methods to collect and store every drop. Tankas, underground tanks that store rainwater from rooftops. Kunds, circular underground wells that collect rainwater runoff. Johad, small earthen check dams that trap monsoon water and raise groundwater levels. These structures are often built and maintained by the whole village, which reflect cooperation and sustainable living. Water is never wasted. For instance, utensils may be scrubbed with sand, and the little water used for rinsing is later used for plants or cleaning. The Aravalli Hills, guardians of the eastern edge. Traveling east from the Thar, one reaches the Aravalli Hills, among the oldest mountain ranges in the world, about 2.5 billion years old. The Aravallis help stop the desert from spreading eastward by slowing dry desert winds and protecting the fertile plains. This range stretches across parts of Rajasthan, Haryana, Gujarat, and even touches Delhi. It is rich in minerals such as marble, zinc, and copper, and dotted with forts, temples, and historic towns. Mount Abu, the highest peak, is a well-known hill station and tourist destination. The Peninsular Plateau, the ancient core of India. The Peninsular Plateau forms the ancient, stable core of India. Unlike the young Himalayas and fertile northern plains, it is a land of old rocks, waterfalls, forests, and rich minerals. This triangular plateau in southern India is often called the foundation of the subcontinent because of its age, diverse ecosystems, and deep cultural roots. What is a plateau? A plateau is a broad elevated landform with a flat or gently sloping top and steep sides. It is also known as a tableland. Unlike sharp pointed mountains, Plateaus are wide uplands, often cut by rivers and covered by forests or grasslands. Location and extent of the Peninsular Plateau. The Peninsular Plateau forms the triangular southern part of India, bounded by the Western Ghats in the west, the Eastern Ghats in the east, coastal plains and seas, the Arabian Sea west, the Bay of Bengal east, the Indian Ocean south. It covers most of Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Karnataka, Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Jharkhand, and parts of Odisha and Gujarat. Major divisions of the plateau. The plateau is made up of several smaller plateaus and ranges. 1. The Deccan Plateau. The largest part in the south, bordered by the western and eastern Ghats. It slopes gently eastward, so most rivers flow towards the Bay of Bengal. 2. The Central Highlands. Lying north of the Deccan Plateau, this region includes Bundelkhand, Malwa, and the Chota Nagpur Plateau, known for rich minerals and coal. 3. The Western and the Eastern Ghats. Western Ghats, Sahyadri Hills, higher, continuous, and steeply dropping to the Arabian Sea. Eastern Ghats lower, broken, gently sloping towards the Bay of Bengal. Rivers of the plateau east and west flowing lifelines. Most plateau rivers rise in the Western Ghats, which act as a water divide. East-flowing rivers, Godavari, Krishna, Kaveri, Mahanadi. They flow long distances, form fertile deltas, and empty into the Bay of Bengal. West-flowing rivers, Narmada, Tapti, flow westward and drain into the Arabian Sea. They form estuaries instead of deltas. These rivers provide water for irrigation, drinking, hydropower, and support cultural life. For example, the Kaveri is especially revered in Tamil Nadu and Karnataka and nourishes green rice, waterfalls, forests, and natural beauty. As rivers cross the uneven rocky plateau, they form many beautiful waterfalls, especially along the Western Ghats. Some of the most famous ones include Jog Falls, Karnataka; Dudhsagar Falls, Goa; Athirapalli Falls, Kerala; Periya Canal Waterfalls, Tamil Nadu. These are important for tourism and hydroelectric power. Minerals and industry wealth beneath the plateau. The Peninsular Plateau is a major mineral storehouse with coal, iron ore, manganese, bauxite, copper, zinc, gold, mica. These resources support India's industrial growth and power generation. The Chota Nagpur Plateau is known as the Ruhr of India for its vast coal and mineral deposits. Industrial cities like Jamshedpur, Bhilai, and Rourkela have grown near these mineral-rich areas. Climate and agriculture. The plateau has a tropical climate with generally moderate to high temperatures and monsoon rainfall, June-September. Although it lacks the alluvial richness of the northern plains, it supports crops such as millets, pulses, cotton, oilseeds, rice and sugarcane where irrigation is available. Farming often uses terrace fields, and irrigation depends on tanks, wells, and check dams, especially in dry regions like Telangana and parts of Maharashtra. India's coastlines and coastal plains, where land meets the sea. India is a land surrounded by water on three sides, giving it a prominent peninsular character. The coastline, stretching over 7,500 kilometers, defines the country's interaction with the Arabian Sea to the west, the Bay of Bengal to the east, and the Indian Ocean to the south. Along this edge of land and sea lie diverse coastal plains, beaches, deltas, ports, and islands, each a world in itself, blending natural beauty, biodiversity, trade, and culture. Understanding coastal plains. Coastal plains are flat, low-lying areas located between the sea and the mountains or plateaus. In India, the coastal region is broadly divided into two main segments. 1. The Western Coastal Plains. 2. The Eastern Coastal Plains. Each has its own unique features, rivers, and ecosystems. The Western Coastal Plains. The Western Coastal Plains extend from Gujarat to Kerala, passing through Maharashtra, Goa, and Karnataka. This narrow strip of land is hemmed in by the Western Ghats and the Arabian Sea, often just 50 to 100 kilometers wide. Key features of this coast include swift, short rivers such as the Narmada and Tapti flow westward from the Western Ghats. These rivers form estuaries instead of deltas. An estuary is a body of water where the river meets the sea, and the fresh water mixes with salt water. The terrain is rugged and includes cliffs, rocky outcrops, coves, and small bays. The region experiences heavy rainfall during the monsoon, creating lush vegetation and dense forests. Major ports and cities like Mumbai, Mangalore, and Kochi are located along this coast, acting as vital economic centers. The western coast is famous for its fishing villages, coconut groves, backwaters, and beaches, including Alleppey Beach, Goa's coastline, and Marina Drive in Mumbai. The Eastern Coastal Plains. Lying between the Eastern Ghats and the Bay of Bengal, the eastern coastal plains are wider and flatter than their western counterparts. They stretch from West Bengal in the north to Tamil Nadu in the south, passing through Odisha and Andhra Pradesh. Key features of this coast include major rivers such as the Mahanadi, Godavari, Krishna, and Kaveri, which flow eastward and form fertile deltas near the coast. These deltas are some of the most fertile regions in the world and support intensive agriculture. The coast has lagoons, brackish lakes, and wetlands like the Chilika Lake in Odisha and Pulicat Lake on the Andhra Pradesh-Tamil Nadu border. Cyclones and floods are common during the monsoon season due to the low-lying nature of the plains. The eastern coast is also home to important ports such as Chennai, Visakhapatnam, and Paradip, which facilitate trade, fishing, and shipbuilding industries. The Islands of India jewels in the ocean. Beyond India's mainland lie two important island groups: the Andaman and Nicobar Islands in the Bay of Bengal and the Lakshadweep Islands in the Arabian Sea. They are titled as jewels in India's oceanic crown. An island is a piece of land completely surrounded by water. A group of islands is called an archipelago. Lakshadweep Islands Coral Paradise of the West. Lakshadweep is a group of 36 small coral islands, including atolls, reefs, and submerged banks near the Malabar coast of Kerala. The islands are low-lying, flat, and coral-based. Key features. Total land area is about 32 second kilometers, making it India's smallest union territory. Only a few islands are inhabited, others remain undisturbed. Famous for coral reefs, rich in marine life. Main occupations: fishing, coconut farming, coir making, boat building. Majority follow Islam. The main language is Malayalam. Andaman and Nicobar Islands, India's eastern sentinels. The Andaman and Nicobar Islands in the Bay of Bengal consist of about 570 plus islands, islets, and rocks. They are larger, forested, and lie close to Southeast Asia, giving them great strategic importance. They are divided into Andaman Islands North, Nicobar Islands South. Together they form a union territory with Port Blair as the capital. Key features: mostly of volcanic origin, covered with dense tropical rainforests. Barren Island hosts India's only active volcano, which occasionally erupts. Home to indigenous tribes like the Great Andamanese, Ong, Jarawa, and Sentinelese, many live in isolation and are protected by strict laws. Rich in marine biodiversity, coral reefs, and rare flora and fauna. Population includes settlers from Tamil Nadu, West Bengal, Kerala, Punjab, etc. The islands host naval and coast guard bases, guarding Indian Ocean shipping lanes and strengthening India's defense. Historical significance: the cellular jail. The cellular jail, Kalapani in the Andamans, built by the British in the 19th century, was used to imprison Indian freedom fighters under brutal conditions. Today, it is a national memorial reminding visitors of their sacrifices and struggles for independence. Coral reefs underwater rainforest. Both Lakshadweep and Andaman and Nicobar are famous for their coral reefs, often called the rainforests of the sea. These reefs shelter clownfish, sea cucumbers, starfish, sea urchins, sea turtles, jellyfish, many algae species. Colorful coral polyps that build vast reef structures. Benefits of coral reefs: protect coast from erosion, provide breeding grounds for marine life, support tourism and fishing, are highly sensitive to pollution, global warming, and overfishing. To protect them, many areas have been declared marine protected areas, MPAs, helping conserve their unique natural wealth. The Sundarbans and the Ganga-Brahmaputra Delta land of tides and tigers. The Sundarbans are located on the eastern coast of India. They form a part of the Ganga-Brahmaputra Delta, which is the largest river delta in the world. This region is famous for its dense mangrove forest and rich plant and animal life. The land, rivers, and sea together shape the environment and the lifestyle of people living there. What is a delta? A delta is a landform created at the mouth of a river, where it deposits large amounts of sediment, silt, clay, and as it enters a larger body of water, usually an ocean or sea. The Ganga-Brahmaputra Delta, also called the Sundarbans Delta, is formed by the confluence of the Ganga River, which originates in the Himalayas, the Brahmaputra River, which flows from Tibet into India and then into Bangladesh, numerous tributaries and distributaries. It is the largest delta in the world and spreads across West Bengal and Bangladesh. Fresh river water mixes with seawater here, forming mangrove forests, islands, and muddy lands. Home to the majestic Royal Bengal tiger. The Sundarbans are world-renowned for being the natural habitat of the Royal Bengal tiger, one of the most iconic and endangered big cats. Other wildlife includes crocodiles, monitor lizards, snakes and turtles, spotted deer and wild boars, hundreds of bird species including kingfishers and herons, the endangered Irrawaddy dolphin and mudskippers, amphibious fish. The hills of the northeast, rains, roots, and resilience. In the eastern corner of the Indian map, beyond the plains of Bengal and the delta of the Brahmaputra, lies a region known for its lush green hills, cascading waterfalls, vibrant cultures, and highest rainfall in the world, the northeastern hills of India. This region includes the Meghalaya Plateau, part of the larger northeast, that shares borders with China, Bhutan, Bangladesh, and Myanmar. The Meghalaya Plateau, land above the clouds. The most prominent part of the northeastern hill region is the Meghalaya Plateau, an extension of the Indian peninsular landmass. The name Meghalaya comes from Sanskrit and means abode of clouds, a fitting name for a land that sees cloudbursts, misty valleys, and non-stop rainfall during the monsoon. This plateau is divided into three main hill ranges: Khasi Hills, Garo Hills, Jaintia Hills. Living root bridges engineering with nature. In the Khasi and Jaintia Hills, people have created unique living root bridges by guiding the roots of the rubber fig tree, Ficus elastica, across streams using bamboo frames. Over decades, the roots thicken into strong, walkable bridges. These bridges are mostly found in Khasi and Jaintia areas, can last hundreds of years and grow stronger with time, withstand floods and heavy rain better than many man-made bridges, show deep harmony between human needs and nature. They now attract worldwide interest for their eco-friendly design and cultural value. People and culture, the indigenous tribes. The hills of northeast India are home to numerous indigenous tribal communities, each with its own language, culture, histories, and social systems. Some prominent tribes in this region include Khasi, Garo, and Jaintia in Meghalaya, Mizo in Mizoram, Naga in Nagaland, Bodo and Rabha in Assam. Molenong, Asia's cleanest village. A shining example of environmental consciousness is Molenong, a village in the East Khasi Hills of Meghalaya. Often referred to as the cleanest village in Asia, it is famous for its eco-friendly bamboo dustbins, well-maintained footpaths and gardens, rainwater harvesting systems, strong community participation in cleanliness and sanitation. This village demonstrates how local wisdom, community effort, and environmental care can together create a sustainable and healthy living space. Rainforests, rivers, and rich ecosystems. The heavy rainfall and hilly terrain have created an environment of lush, subtropical and tropical forests teeming with life. These forests contain mahogany, bamboo, sal, and teak trees, medicinal herbs, and rare orchids. Birds like hornbills, pheasants, and hill minnows. Butterflies, insects, and amphibians are found nowhere else in the world. Numerous rivers and streams, such as the Umgot River, flow through these hills, supporting fishing, farming, and hydroelectric projects. Concepts introduced. Indian subcontinent. The Indian subcontinent is a large region of South Asia that includes India and its neighboring countries. It is called a subcontinent because it has distinct physical features, climate, and culture separated from the rest of Asia by natural boundaries like the Himalayas and surrounding seas. Water Tower of Asia. The Himalayas are called the Water Tower of Asia because many major rivers originate from their glaciers and snowfields. These rivers provide water for drinking, farming, and industries to millions of people across Asia. Cold desert. A cold desert is an area with very low rainfall and extremely cold temperatures. Ladakh is a cold desert where harsh climate, rugged terrain, and unique wildlife exist despite difficult living conditions. Peninsular Plateau. The Peninsular Plateau is a large ancient landform in southern India surrounded by water on three sides. It is rich in minerals, rivers, forests, and supports agriculture, industries, and tribal communities. Delta. A delta is a fertile landform formed at the mouth of a river due to the deposition of sediments. River deltas support dense population and intensive farming because of their rich soil.